Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. This commentary this afternoon will be pertaining to the curse of Grand Teton, the missing people out of Grand Teton, people who were visiting the area who have not been found nor heard from, and also the Indigenous people of the state of Wyoming. Many have gone missing, and it is several hundreds of people who have not gotten any national attention that they have been that they are currently missing out of the state of Wyoming. So this is a two-part live. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is a two-part live pertaining to the curse of Grand Teton, several people, few people missing from there, and also the Indigenous people missing out of the state of Wyoming. Why haven't they been able to get the play that other nationalities have gotten pertaining to missing persons? I also want to bring attention to two women who were found dead in the state of North Carolina. I'm going to bring you that said commentary, and then I will go into my commentary and information pertaining to Grand Teton. ABC 13 is the first source. A body was found in Little Tennessee River, believed to be missing woman. Sheriff said this was uploaded today, November 3rd. Macon County authorities said they believe they found the body of a woman who had been reported missing since Halloween. Sheriff Robert L. Holland said in a news release on November 2nd that rescue crews found a dead woman in the Little Tennessee River about a mile downstream from where the abandoned vehicle of a missing person was found Sunday. While a positive identification will be made later this week following an autopsy, based on photographs of the missing woman, we believe the deceased female is the missing Ricky Ortega Cooney, Holland said. And in this said commentary, you will see a picture uploaded by the Macon County Sheriff's Office 20 hours ago. The sheriff said the information is limited at this time as the criminal investigation continues. It says, on behalf of the MCSO, we wish to extend our sincere thoughts and prayers to the family and friends of Mrs. Cooney during this difficult time for those who loved her, Holland said. If you have any information about this incident, you're asked to contact the Macon County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division at 828-349-2076. Once again, a Caucasian female had went missing, and now her body has been discovered in the Little Tennessee River. And this is a very sad situation. Ricky Ortega Cooney. She may be Hispanic, I don't know, but she's fair-skinned, we'll put it like that. And she was found in the river. So if you have any information, please contact the Macon County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations at 828-349-2076. That source is ABC 13 News. Thank you so much for joining me. Now I'd like to bring you another story pertaining to a woman in North Carolina who also has been found dead. And I'll bring you that set information. Body found in Robeson County identified as missing woman Jessica Lawrence. And this was uploaded 5 days ago. ABC 11 is the source. A body that was found in Robeson County on Monday has been identified as that of missing woman. Robeson County Sheriff's Office said Thursday the body of Jessica Lawrence, 42, was found of Tom M. Road near NC 710 between Roland and Pembroke. She is also a fair-skinned lady, Caucasian. The North Carolina Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the body as Lawrence, who was last seen at her home on Coy Road in St. Paul's on September 26th. She was first reported missing by a family member on October 12th. So mind you, that's about 2 weeks that she was missing, and somebody in her family decided to report her missing. You know how the queen is. Why did it take you so long to report Miss Lawrence missing? Not the information we wanted to hear, but sadly, as expected, we have terrible news to report. I spoke with Jessica's mother today, and while this does bring a little relief to the family as to her being located, I can assure the public that we plan to bring the persons to justice that were involved in this heinous crime, Robeson County Sheriff Bernice Wilkins said. 18 days after Jessica Lawrence was last seen, investigators found a registered sex offender driving her car. Lawrence worked at Fayetteville at Cape Fear Valley Medical Center. On October 14th, investigators found Lawrence's 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee in Red Springs being driven by 42-year-old Michael Brayboy. He was arrested and charged with failure to report a change of address by a sex offender. He was booked into the Robeson County Detention Center on a $1.5 million bond. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations, and North Carolina State Highway Patrol Aviation Division, Robeson County Search and Rescue Team, North Carolina Search and Rescue Team, a state cadaver dog, Robeson County Emergency Management, and Robeson County EMS assisted with the investigation and searches. Amen. So I just mentioned several agencies were looking for this woman out of North Carolina. Thank you, Jesus. The case remains under investigation. Investigators said from the outset they have reason to believe foul play was involved. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Robeson County Sheriff's Office at 910-671-3100 or 910-671-3170. It says video is from a previous report and will be updated. Let me see what they say in this said video pertaining to the case. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.
Solid financial insights.
Sorry about that. Thank you all. Hello, everybody. Thank you. They do suspect foul play. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Canada. Thank you so much. Hello, Miss Bruma. How everybody doing? Thank you so much. Oh, mercy. What a day. I can't get my information to load. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. I think I need a new phone because nothing is loading like it's supposed to. Okay. I was trying to get this video to play pertaining to her. Let me see if it'll play. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Thank you. I'm going to see if this video plays so we can get more information about this lady. Thank you all. Hello, Dylan. Dylan Rose. I love that name. So TV. Sounds like a soap opera name.
Identified. Steve Daniels with the details that are just coming into the newsroom. Steve, what do you know?
Hi, Amber. The body found in Robeson County on Monday was Jessica Lawrence. Let's show you the video from Chopper 11 overhead and our crew on the ground. We brought it to you as breaking news as a search team looking for Jessica Lawrence found those human remains. The 42-year-old was reported missing back on October 12th. Then a couple days later, a convicted sex offender, Michael Brayboy, was found driving her car. Now today, just minutes ago, the Robeson County Sheriff says the remains found on Monday have been positively identified. They were the remains of Jessica Lawrence. No one has been charged with the murder yet, but the sheriff says he has been in touch with the Lawrence family today, assuring them he will be pursuing justice. We'll let you know when there's a new break in the case, Joel.
Steve Daniels, thank you. Meantime.
All right, that's News 11 out of North Carolina pertaining to Miss Lawrence, 42. Jessica, Caucasian female, was missing from a medical center where she worked. I have commentary that I read. I always like to bring a source just in case because people love to question anything I talk about on my channel for some unknown reason. I'm going to pull that up as well because I don't want to ad-lib anything because I'm not in the mood to be explaining nothing to nobody today. How's everybody doing? Oh, what big eyes. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to just skim through this article to bring you the said information pertaining to this lady. Let's see if they got this article in here. They don't have this information because I pulled it up just a little while ago. Hold on one second. See if I can find another information because I want to make sure I repeat everything correctly. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say what I read. The sex offender was some guy she was dating, and they also said she has children, I believe 3 children. So what I'm questioning is, she had to have known that he was a sex offender. I don't have to ask that. She knew he was a sex offender because the probation officer had just left her house visiting him. So that means she knew he was a sex offender because naturally a probation officer comes to your house. Aren't you going to ask who this person is? What do you want with my boyfriend? Blah, blah, blah. naturally the officer identified themselves as a probation officer. So that means she knew she was dating sex offender. What my question is the main question. Why are you dating a sex offender? Why would she be dating a sex offender? Who did he offend? How long it was? How much time did he get? Were her children living in the house alongside she and the sex offender? And why did this sex offender kill her? Because he was driving her car 2 weeks after she went missing. They got her clocked in at September 26th, being alive. A report didn't go in till almost the middle of October. He's seen driving her car after the fact. So was he still staying in her house, driving her car? As I said again, were her kids living in the house? Where were her kids at while she's missing? What happened? Why did he kill her? Why did he kill her? Because foul play is suspected. And I do believe he is the culprit, because naturally you have a missing woman. You're driving her car, you're dating her, and now her body has popped up, deceased. So we can put 2 and 2 together. You knocked this lady off for whatever reason, and then you rode around in her damn car like nobody was going to ask where she is. So this is what I'm going to ask this fool. You didn't think somebody was going to inquire about this lady? You didn't think somebody was going to call from her job wondering why she didn't show up for work? You didn't think her family was going to inquire about why they haven't heard from her? Her phone's not being answered. Maybe somebody came by the house knocking on the door. Did you give them a lame excuse? She's here, she's there, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But see, the flip side of that is if people know you well and her car is parked in the driveway, come on with it, queen. Why is her car there? So you have to ask all those questions, the obvious questions, okay? You killed her. You kept her car. So did you stay at her house with her car, or did you go stay somewhere else with her car? So let's say you stayed at the house with her. Somebody's noticing her car is there during the day. This is hypothetical because I don't know all the details. Somebody's going to know, hey, she's home. Hey, she's home every day. I thought she worked. So let's say somebody came by looking for her. What did you say? Did you open the door? Because somebody's going to be suspicious. The car's sitting there. She's not answering the phone. Very interesting information coming out of North Carolina. 2 women found deceased in the state of North Carolina. I will bring you more commentary as I get this information. I didn't have any plans of really covering these 2 cases, but they came up in my notifications this afternoon. So I decided to put them out there, especially since one of the bodies was found in the Little Tennessee River. And we also have another Caucasian woman missing here out of my area. I'll go ahead and mention her too while I'm on the wire. And I don't know what the hell's going on lately with all these missing people. But this is some strange stuff going on. Crime Stoppers missing Knoxville woman may be in danger. This was uploaded 24 hours ago. WAT 6 News is the source. Sorry for the background. We're doing work around my area where I'm living right now. So a Knoxville woman who's suffering from memory loss after a recent crash is reported missing and may be in danger, according to East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. Tracy Joan Walton, 41, has no history of walking off. But on October 30th, she was last seen in the afternoon on the front porch of a home in 2100 block of Branner Street. Following a bad crash in September, Walton had her right arm amputated and is suffering from memory loss. She's 5'1" and weighs about 180 pounds with brown hair and hazel eyes. Please be out on the look. This is for the Knoxville Police Department. The lookout for Tracy Walton, missing, who was last seen October 30th at her residence on Branner Street. Anyone with information about her whereabouts should contact at Tennessee Crime and East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. She's a Caucasian female missing since October 30th, 2021. Help bring Tracy Joan Walton home. Address 2110 Branner Street, Knoxville, Tennessee. Has memory loss, 5'1", 180 pounds, Caucasian, brown hair. What happened to her? Did somebody lure her from her porch? Did somebody need a ride, need something from her, asked her for a favor? Did she just start walking off because she doesn't have a memory of nothing? So she just starts walking, met up with foul play. Where is she? If you know her, know something about her. Tracy Joan Walton, Knoxville, Tennessee. Please call East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers right now. You think you saw her walking around? Call somebody, please. Thank you all so much for joining me. 1-800-222-TIPS 8477. or online at www.easttennesseevalleycrimestoppers.org or through the P3 Tips app. That is the said information coming from WATE 6 News. Local woman missing out of Knoxville, Tennessee. 2 women were missing out of North Carolina. They have been found deceased. If you need to recap the information pertaining to the missing women out of North Carolina, go back and replay my video. I have all the said information and the sources. I will now get into my storyline pertaining to the curse of Grand Teton. What is going on out there? Is there a curse? Is there a serial killer? Are we talking about more than one killer? Too many people missing from out there. And I also will talk about the indigenous people missing out of the state of Wyoming itself. I will bring you the demographics of Jackson, Wyoming, where Grand Teton is, the population, crime. All that will be listed in this said information this evening. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. And I also will bring you another live this evening pertaining to a very crazy crime that took place recently. It is very horrific, and I will go live and drop a panel for that if people will engage. If not, I'll just bring the information and log out because I just don't have the time anymore to do the panels because they're just not really working in my favor as of late. So I'm just going to roll with the flow. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, Terry. How you doing? Welcome. Grand Teton National Park had 3 people go missing this summer, with the latest being Gabby Petito. Outsider is the source. This is uploaded September 18, 2021. Something strange is happening in those mountains. So far this summer, 3 people have gone missing from Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. This includes 27-year-old Cian Mclaughlin, 26-year-old Robert Lowry, and most recently, 22-year-old Gabby Petito. While authorities stated that the 3 cases are completely unrelated, the strange and close time frame between the missing persons cases has visitors wary of the national park and the surrounding areas. The first case of the summer to occur was Laughlin, who went missing on June 12th. According to reports, a fellow Grand Teton visitor saw the 27-year-old hiking without a backpack on June 8th. He was reportedly on the south side of Bragley-Taggart Moraine, heading towards Taggart Lake. Since his disappearance, National Park officials have received tips from more than 140 people. They have conducted more than 45 helicopter searches and have utilized thermal imaging cameras and other high-tech equipment. Unfortunately, they still have yet to find any signs of Mclaughlin. 2 months later, Lowry went missing from the national park on August 19th. Camera footage caught the Grand Teton traveler at a restaurant at the Jackson Hole Mountain Resort in Teton Village. According to Lowry's sister Lee, the missing hiker had no prior experience with the national park or in camping. She told Jackson Hole News and Guide that the Texas native purchased a sleeping bag and tent, but mentioned no other gear. Police stated that it's possible that after visiting the nearby restaurant, Mclaughlin could have gotten into a Lyft car. On August 23rd, authorities received a final ping on Lowry's phone in Jackson, Wyoming. After that, all traces ceased. Perhaps the most baffling revelation from the case, though, was that National Park visitor canceled his mail at his home in Houston. So what happened with Mr. Lowry? It is believed that he killed himself. So what we have to ask ourselves, why would this 46-year-old man travel all the way to Wyoming to kill himself, buy a sleeping bag, dine at a restaurant, and then kill himself in the Grand Teton Park? Mr. Laughlin, who was an Irishman traveling abroad here to our great, great nation, America, he goes missing. And they also believe that perhaps he got in a Lyft car. So what we have to ask ourselves about that, did he get in the wrong car with somebody? Is this Lyft driver his killer? This is some very interesting information. And as I state, National Park officials received numerous tips from more than 140 people. They have conducted more than 45 helicopter searches and have utilized thermal imaging cameras and other high-tech equipment. Unfortunately, they still have yet to find any signs of Mclaughlin. And this is Cian Mclaughlin, under 30 years of age, missing. Mr. Lowry, 46, he went missing, later found, deemed a suicide. But as I state, he went out to eat, he bought a sleeping bag, told his sister what he bought, then he's dead. Killed himself, allegedly. Mr. Laughlin haven't been seen, but they're alleging he got into a Lyft ride. Who was this said person whose car he got into? It's very strange. because it says here, police stated that it's possible that after visiting a nearby restaurant, Mclaughlin, Mr. Cian, this is the foreigner, Irishman, could have gotten into a lift car. So when you say could have, why are you saying that? Do you have information that Mr. Mclaughlin got in the car or not? Either did or he didn't. Why say it? Okay. Some very strange stuff. And Mr. Lowry canceled all his mail back in Houston. So did he go out there to kill himself? Why travel that far to kill yourself? He was a father. He didn't think about his child. Was he going through something? And like I said, if indeed he killed himself, that's the ruling of his death. Why would he travel so far out to kill himself? It's a long way to go just to murder oneself, kill oneself. National Park Rangers continue to search for a most recent missing person. While these two earlier missing persons cases are still completely relevant and pressing, the most recent case has National Park Rangers, local police departments, and the FBI hard at work to find Gabby Petito. Now, remember, this is at the time when she went missing. Previously, Petito and her fiance, Brian Laundrie, were traveling through the western United States to visit the most renowned national parks. Before her mother reported her missing, Petito and Laundrie were in the Grand Tetons. Once there, all communication between Petito and her family ceased, causing her parents to panic. Once police and National Park office officials caught wind of the case, they searched for the white camper that the couple used for their cross-country adventure. They found the van and the fiancé at his parents' house in Florida. Since then, Laundrie, too, has disappeared in the nearby Carlton Reserve. However, Petito's family believes that the fiancé is hiding, not missing. This is an earlier report, September. It is now November. We all know that Miss Petito was found, identified, and also Mr. Laundrie was found in the reserve and identified through dental records. This is an earlier commentary that I'm bringing to you because it was the latest that I could find in a Google search pertaining to the Grand Teton and those missing from the Grand Teton. Hello, John. How are you doing? Thank you so much. If you need verification for the information I brought you, The Outsider is the source. This was uploaded September 18th, a month or so ago. So we have 3 people who was in the Tetons that went missing, and only 2 bodies have come out identified. That is Gabby Petito and Mr. Lowry, 46, out of Houston, Texas. Mr. Mclaughlin is still missing. His mother is here in the United States, out there in that area trying to find her son. So where is Cian Mclaughlin? Did he come across a deranged hiker? Did he come across a deranged Lyft Uber driver? Did he hook up with some people to go drink or have a meal somewhere? Did he meet the wrong female? Did he pick up a date? What happened to Cian Mclaughlin? Where is he? Why are there no signs of him? And once again, why would he buy anything to be in this place and go missing? Because these people naturally are buying something to camp and hike. Where is he? Did he come to America to fall off? Get lost on purpose? Because you do know people will travel to foreign lands to get lost, to hide out. Are we talking about a man who came here to hide out? I don't know, because I don't know Mr. Mclaughlin. But where is he? Did he meet foul play, such as Gabby Petito? Did he run across the wrong person out there in that land and they snuffed him out and dumped his body somewhere out in that great, great atmosphere? If you have any information pertaining to Mr. Cian Mclaughlin, please call the local authorities and the FBI. His parents' family are worried about him. His mother is here in the United States trying to get information pertaining to her child, her boy, adult son. Where is he? I still find it odd that Mr. Lowry would go out there to kill himself. And of course, we have the other 2 women who were bludgeoned out there. What happened to them? Who killed them? Is it 1 killer or 2 that murdered the married couple, the female couple? What happened to those ladies? Where is Cian Mclaughlin? If you have any information, please notify the authorities. Very strange information. I'm going to give you a little information pertaining to Jackson, Wyoming. Many of us will probably never go out there because we ain't lost nothing out there. And as I've told many of you, you're entitled to roam the earth as you see fit. But I'm just one of those type of people. I can appreciate nature without being in nature. I don't need to go in the Great Smoky Mountains because I ain't lost nothing up there. I'm not trying to get bit by a bear, coyote, moose, whatever the hell's up there with 4 feet. I can't stand the 2-footed creature. Barely. So I know I ain't about to go toe-to-toe with nothing with 4 feet, big claws, and a big mouth with big teeth. Just keeping it real. And that's, I think that some of you have gotten beside yourself. You feel like, well, I can roam and do what I want as I see fit. I can roam the earth, go in the mountains, go in the national parks, go in the reserves, do what I want. I'm grown. Well, no, honey, you ain't grown. Because what you ain't figured out is a worst case scenario. Your ass gets sick up there. You fall out. You get dehydrated. You fall, stumble to your death. Now somebody's got to go up there and look for you. Okay? You get dehydrated. You start throwing up, vomiting. You're ill. You can't come back down the mountain. You can't come out the swamp. You can't come out whatever. What you gonna do? Oh, here comes the bear. He's hungry. Uh-oh. Leg gone. Face gone. Torso missing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because see, what you forgot is that's not your home up there. That's not your home out there. Man has been kind enough to let you roam out there and say, hey, you got 2 feet. You're welcome to come in here with the animals, but you on your own once you walk up in there. And now you want to send other civilians, such as a rescue team, drones, such and such, to now come find you. You want somebody to fly in a helicopter so where they can risk their life going low to see if they can spot you in the woods, in the wilderness, in the swamp, in the Grand Teton. You understand what I'm saying? So now somebody's got to go in rugged terrain to try to find your ass when you ain't had no business up in there no damn way. Why can't you enjoy nature from afar? Why can't you go to the bottom of the hill, at the foot rather, of the mountain terrain and say, that's a beautiful hill. That's a beautiful park. Those are beautiful trees. But I ain't carrying my butt up in there because I don't belong up in there. I ain't lost nothing up in there. And ain't nothing up in there sent me here. The bear didn't come look for you. The wolf didn't come look for you. The coyote didn't come look for you. And the killer who's up in there looking for a fresh victim, he didn't send for you either. Stay out of there. Somebody is knocking off people out there in these parks. And they know to do it because they know there's not going to be a cavalry to rescue you. It's the perfect place to rob a person, assault a person, sexually assault a person. Wake up. If a person will break in your house and kill you, what the hell makes you think they wouldn't kill you in a sleeping bag or an RV? What protection do you have in some TikTok ass RV? A tent. A tent. What is a tent on the ground? You are lying on a ground in open terrain and think nothing bad would happen to you. Think about what you're saying. It could be 3 of you, 4 of you. Ain't nothing you can do when the boogeyman comes. And you better hope the boogeyman ain't brought none of his friends with him so we can play some dirty games with you. You better stay woke. Stay out those parks. Stay out the mountains. Let the animals have that because God put the animals there for a reason. That's where he wanted them to roam. If God wanted the damn lion and the elephants to roam New York City, Detroit, Michigan, he'd let the damn animals roam the streets, but he didn't design it that way. He built the land far off and let the wild roam out there. He didn't put a skyscraper next to Grand Teton or the Smoky Mountains for a reason. He told man, don't put no skyscraper next to the Smoky Mountains because it don't belong there. Same thing with abroad, Africa. There's a reason that land is way out by itself so the animals can roam because that's their place. That's where God wanted them. If God wanted a giraffe walking down the streets of London, he'd put the damn giraffe there, but he ain't wanted that. He didn't want the moose walking down the streets, going to the palace, looking for the queen. Stay woke. There's a reason for the wilderness to be where it is. And we as people, man who is so narcissistic, cannot understand when to leave well enough alone and stay out of the wild. Because it's bad enough we have people going in the wild, hunting animals, endangered animals, for game, to show off, take pictures illegally. And then you go out there and get yourself caught up and go missing. And now you want regular civilians to come look for you and find you. That's not their job. Because had you not been in there, the cavalry wouldn't have to come look for you. Thank you all for joining me. This is pertaining to Wyoming. Beautiful place. Current population as of 2019, 10,559 people in Jackson, Wyoming. 100% urban, 0% rural. Population change since 2000, plus 22.1%. Males living out there in Jackson, 6,124. Females, 4,435. So there are 58% males living in Jackson, Wyoming, 42% women. Median resident is 32.9 years of age. Wyoming median, 38.1 years of age. The zip code is 83001. Estimated median household income as of 2019, $74,504. It was $47,757 in 2000. In Jackson, the median income is $74,504. The state of Wyoming, it is $65,003. Estimated per capita income in 2019, $41,081. It was $25,004 in 2000. So the average income in Jackson, Wyoming is $74,504. And in the state of Wyoming, the average income is $65,003. Estimated median house or condo value 2019, $695,573. It was $235,600 in 2000. So in 20-something years, 19 years rather, the income rose to about $460,000 in a house value. That's a lot of money. State of Wyoming, the average house is at $235,200. So you're talking about right now, a house is worth $700,000. The average median household value of a house is almost at $700,000 in Jackson, Wyoming, where the Grand Teton sits. Mean prices in 2019, all housing units, 645,956. Detached houses, 732,279. Townhouses or other attached units, 552,926. In 2-unit structures, 510,692. In 3 to 4 unit structures, 790,817. 5 or more unit structures, 493,361. And a mobile home you can get for a good old boy price of $31,156. Come on down and get you a trailer, because who the hell can afford a $700,000 damn house? Shut your mouth. Because we do know this is an area where it's famous for movie stars, famous people to buy homes, second homes, third homes. So that's why I'm assuming the value is so high in Wyoming, Jackson, Wyoming. Percentage of residents living in poverty in 2019, 6.0%. 7.6% for white non-Hispanic residents, 1.2% for Hispanic or Latino residents, 2.5% for other race residents. Okay. This is the races in Jackson, Wyoming, 2019. The main population of people in Jackson, Wyoming as of 2019 are white people at 72.6%. The second races is 1%. Asian, 0.3%. Hispanic, 25.9%. And black, 0.6%. Hell no, ain't no black folks out there because we ain't about to be nowhere or we ain't got nothing going on. It's just how black folks rock. Y'all know how we do. It's nothing being racist, but it's common sense. The farther west you go out, you have less black people. Everybody knows this. You rarely hear stories of black folks in Nebraska, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah. Y'all know where I'm going. So the main population of people in Jackson, Wyoming are Caucasian people, white people, and the second race of people at 25.9% are Hispanic people. Here we go. According to our research of Wyoming and other state lists, there were 6 registered sex offenders living in Jackson, Wyoming as of November 3rd, 2021. The ratio of all residents to sex offenders in Jackson is 17:20:1. The ratio of registered sex offenders to all residents in the city is much lower than the state average. So the ratio of sex offenders in Wyoming, Jackson, Wyoming, as of today, it is 17:20:1. Not a lot. Murders per 100,000. 0% from 2006 to 2009. Rapes per 100. In 2006, 18. 2007, 19. It dropped in 2008 to 11 offenses. 2009, only 6. Robberies per 100,000 people. 2006, it was 4. 2007, 0. 2008, 1. 2009, only 3. Then it goes up. I guess I didn't go all the way up to the years. I'll just go to the last one, 2017. Let me start with murders. As of 2017, 0. Rapes, 6, 2017. Robberies, 2. Assaults, 20. Burglaries, 9. Thefts, 149. Auto thefts, 12. Arson, 0. Citydata.com, crime index all over, 158.5 as of 2017. So a couple of years off, but doesn't seem like they have a lot going on. More of a upper income bracket city, Wyoming. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. Just bringing you the data. Full-time law enforcement employees in 2019, including police officers, 39. That is 32 as police officers. Officers per 1,000 residents here, 4. Wyoming average, 2.39. So officers per 1,000 is 3. Residents, 4. Trying to bring you with all I can bring you about this place of Jackson, Wyoming. Let's see what else I can find. Okay. Ancestries. Irish, 7.5%. English, 6.7%. German, 6.1%. American, 5.7%. Polish, 5.3%. And European descent, 3.0%. The current time is 2:08 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I am on the East Coast Standard Time. Elevation, 6,234 feet. Land area, 2.85 square miles. Population density 3,709 people per square mile average. This is out of Jackson, Wyoming. 1781 residents are foreign born. That is 14.7. Latin America. This town, 16.9%. Wyoming, 3.4. Median real estate property taxes paid for housing units with mortgages in 2019, 1,934. Median real estate property taxes paid for housing units with no mortgage in 2019, $3,000. Nearest city with a population of 50,000 or more is Idaho Falls, Idaho, 63.4 miles with a population of 50,730. The nearest city with a population of 200,000 or more is West Adams, Colorado. It is 388.6 miles from Wyoming with a population of 259,628. The nearest city with a population of 1 million or more is Phoenix, Arizona, which stands at 691.6 miles away from Jackson, Wyoming. Phoenix, Arizona has a population of 1,321,045. The nearest cities from Jackson, Wyoming are South Park, Wyoming, 1.7 miles. Rafter J Ranch, Wyoming, 1.7. Moose Wilson Road, Wyoming, 2.3 miles. Wilson, Wyoming, 2.4 miles. Teton Village, Wyoming, 2.9 miles. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, 3.1. And Hobart, Wyoming, 3.3. Kelly, Wyoming, 3.5. The latitude is 43.48 north. Longitude, 110.77 west. Daytime population change due to commuting, plus 3,359 at a plus of 32%. Workers who live and work in this town, 4,764 at 72.8%. The area code for Jackson, Wyoming is 307. As I told you, the average person in Wyoming is making $70,000+ a year. So that should tell you something. This is an upper income bracket area. Not too many poor folks are living out in Jackson, Wyoming. I bring you this information because I don't like talking about a place and not bring you the demographics of the race of people, the crime, and what's going on there. This is a city mainly with white people at 70-something%, and 25.9 is of Hispanic descent. Black folks, we under the radar at about 3 or 6%. They have a list of tourist attractions. So many there's no way I can name all these places, but it is a lot. If you need verification, but citydata.com is where I'm bringing you the said information. I'm going to bring you the most common occupations in Jackson, Wyoming, so you can get a better idea of what the people do who live in this city. Building and grounds cleaning and maintenance occupations, 6.5%. Other management occupations except farmers and farm managers, 6.4%. Other sales and related occupations, including supervisors, 5.4%. Carpenters, 4.4%. Retail sales worker except cashiers, 3.6%. Waiters and waitresses, 3.5%. Electrical equipment, mechanics, and other installation, maintenance, and repair workers, including supervisors, 3.3%. Okay. Right now we're in the month of November. So trying to see this chart for the weather. Looks like it's very cold. It's cold. Very cold. Let's see. Trying to bring anything else. Air quality, 50.5%. U.S. overall, 74.2%. Jackson area historical earthquake activity is significantly above Wyoming state average. It is at 1,562% greater than the overall U.S. average. So it says here, earthquake occurred 75.6 miles away from Jackson Center, causing $26 million in total damage. That's been a while ago. It says the number of natural disasters in Teton County 4 is a lot smaller than the U.S. average at 15. Major disasters, presidential declared 1. Causes of natural disaster: fire 1, flood 1, landslide 1, storm 1, wind 1, winter storm 1, other 1. Some incidents may be assigned to more than one category. Okay, then it just goes on to give you the main hospitals, the airports, helicopter locations, colleges and universities that are there. Wow, Brigham Young University, about 57 miles, is in Rexburg, Idaho. Full-time enrollment, 30,522. Sorry about that. Okay. 2 public high schools. At least, let's see, 3 private high schools in Jackson. 1, 2, 3, 4 elementary middle schools in Jackson. They have a public library, Teton County Library. Let's see what else. Just trying to bring you all this. 1 shopping center. A lot of tourist attractions. Too many to name. I just wanted to bring you the basics. So the thing that's interesting with the information that I just brought you, the fact that the income is at over $70,000 to live in this town, the pay rate at over $70,000 is telling. So the people make a decent income, and the houses are valued at almost $700,000. The cheapest thing to buy out there would be a trailer at $31,000. So stay woke with what I'm trying to say. These ain't no po folks in Jackson, Wyoming. Okay? And as I state, popular place for people to buy second and third homes. Movie stars, famous people. So who the hell's out here sloughing off these people, killing these people? Very strange, strange, strange. So are we talking about vagabonds, drifters, drifting through the Grand Teton, looking for people to rob and steal from? Because that's what's going to be interesting when we get more information pertaining to all the dead people and missing people. What was left behind by Mr. Lowry, who allegedly killed himself? Was he robbed? Because I don't know if I can believe he killed himself. So I want to know, where was his wallet and all that? Mr. Cian Mclaughlin, who's currently missing out of Grand Teton. Has anybody been using any of his debit cards, bank accounts, using his name while here in the United States or abroad? This is how you find your killer. Put their name in a database and see if their name, social security number has been used. Okay? Because we already learned about what happened to Gabby Petito. The boyfriend used her cards to get back to Florida. He told on his damn self. Who's been using anything pertaining to Cian Mclaughlin? Has anybody used anything pertaining to Mr. Lowry? Even though they said he killed himself. But I find it odd anybody would travel that far to kill themselves from Houston, Texas. He could have comfortably killed himself in the state of Texas. Kind of like in his own damn house. Very strange. Is there a working serial killer in the Grand Teton area? Is someone going out here killing innocent people? And what is the reasoning? Naturally, there's no good reason to kill anybody unless it's in self-defense, they're harming you. So why are you, whomever you people are, going out here snuffing off these people out here? What the hell is going on? Hello, Painted Pony. Thank you for joining me. Thank you all for joining me. Is there a serial killer in the Grand Teton National Park? Are these crimes related to one killer? Gabby Petito, the 2 women, Cian Mclaughlin. As I state, Robert Lowry's death is deemed a suicide. But as I state, why would anyone travel from Houston, Texas to this area to kill themselves? I'm going to spend money, fly somewhere to kill myself. Why would I want to go fly off to where nobody can find my body? I'm a father. I'm leaving behind my children to mourn my death, disappearance, Why would I do that? Would I be that cruel to have people have to look for my body in the fucking national park? I always tell people to think about the information that's been given to you. Ask yourself, does it make sense? I'm not going to bring you information pertaining to the indigenous people of Wyoming. Thank you for joining me. Citydata.com is the source of the information I just brought you pertaining to Wyoming, Jackson, Wyoming. If you want to move there, you want to travel there, that's the set information. You need a little money to go visit. We'll leave it at that. There's not too many poor people running around. So that's what we have to ask ourselves. If these cases are of one person, why are they killing these people? Is our killer already dead when found in a swamp in Florida? Or are we talking about more people killing these people? The two women. Did Brian Laundrie kill the two women? Many people are still asking that. They're still talking about this case on the news, on WFLA and News Nation Now. They're still uploading content pertaining to the Laundrie Petito case. Some people wanted to put it to bed, let it rest. But in the end, there will be no justice because most of us believe Brian killed that girl and he's dead. He's dead. So there's no justice for her. Only thing we're waiting on now is manner of death pertaining to the Brian Laundrie. The Insider is the source for this next information. 710 indigenous people, mostly girls, were reported missing over the past decade in Wyoming, the same state where Gabby Petito reportedly disappeared. This is uploaded September 19th. This was the latest that I could find pertaining to this information. Jeannie Hovland, you'll see her picture here. She's wearing a mask saying missing and murdered with fingerprints on the front of the mask. The Deputy Assistant Secretary for Native American Affairs for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services poses with a missing and murdered indigenous women mask on August 26, 2020. The disappearance of Gabby Petito launched a social media frenzy and nonstop media coverage since she was reported missing, possibly from the state of Wyoming, where she and her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, were said to be visiting Grand Teton National Park. But hundreds of cases of indigenous people reported missing in the exact same state over the past decade have not been met with the same furor. At least 710 indigenous people, mostly girls, went missing in Wyoming from 2011 to 2020. According to a January report published by the state's Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Task Force, the vast majority, 85%, were kids, while 57% were female. The report found 50% of missing indigenous people are found within 1 week, while 21% remain missing for 30 days or longer. Only 11% of white people remain missing for that long, according to the report. Let me repeat what I just read to you. 710 indigenous people, mostly girls, went missing in Wyoming from 2011 to 2020. Vast majority are 85% kids, 57% were female. The report found 50% of the missing indigenous were found within a week, while 21% remained missing for 30 days or longer. And then only 11% of white people remain missing for that long, according to the report. That is a very interesting study of results. 11% white people remain missing for 1 week or longer versus the 21% of indigenous people. So they go on to recap what went on with the Petitos and the Laundries. I'm not going to read any of that. I'm just going to bring you the story of what I'm talking about, which is the indigenous people. In this said photo, you will see some people gathered in front of the state capitol in Helena, Montana on May 5th, 2021. And these were family members of a missing and murdered indigenous women in Montana. Wind River is the only reservation in the state, home to thousands of Shoshone and Arapaho Indians. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Or Shoshone. But the report found indigenous people have been reported missing in 22 out of the state's 23 counties, making it a statewide problem. The report also looked at media coverage, finding only 30% of Indigenous homicide victims made the news, compared to 51% of white victims. When the murders of Indigenous people were covered, the news reports were overly graphic compared to white people. Wyoming Survey and Analysis research scientist Emily Grant, who worked on the report, told WPR. Oh, Lord, stop. Okay, sorry about that. The missing and murdered Indigenous persons movement has received increased attention in recent years. Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon established the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Task Force in 2019 after being pressured by advocates to address the problem. In 2020, he has signed legislation aimed at improving data collection of missing and murdered people. The bill also required officials to provide law enforcement with training on cases that involve Indigenous people and mandated cooperation among law enforcement agencies. And if you have a tip, you can contact KV Lamas at insider.com for this information that I brought you. So here we go. The Insider is the source. 710 people currently missing out of the state of Wyoming that are Indigenous. Mainly girls out of the state of Wyoming. 85% are kids, while 57% were female. There is a problem in Wyoming with Indigenous people. 85% of children. So that means what? The children are running away, or are they being kidnapped, held hostage? What are we saying? See, you will never know, because you have to be able to have a victim alive to tell the story that he or she ran away or was held captive. That's the only way you're going to know the story. What's interesting is though, only 11% of white people remain missing for that long, according to the report, of 30 days or longer, versus 21% of Indigenous people. And also 50% of missing Indigenous people are found within 1 week. So that's a pretty good stat too. 50% go missing, but then they're found within a week. So that's a good thing. All life is valuable. No matter if you are Christian, non-Christian, you deserve a voice. So long, hell, you treat people right with respect, we give it back. All life is valuable. All life is valuable in the eyes of God, whether you believe in God or not. He's a waymaker. He sees everything, knows everything. And to him, we're all valuable. Even if I don't like you, you don't like me, God likes you. And as I tell people, that's a wonderful thing, because that's the one you want to show your favor anyway, not man. Because as I've told you so many times in my commentary, there are certain people that man cannot do anything with. Only God can work with him or her. It is not our job to save people. It is not our job to be the Calvary for a two-legged creature. There comes a time when you must bow out and let God do his thing, because only he can work with the worst of man and woman. You can no longer be Captain Save-A-Ho. Excuse my language. You have got to know when to fold and say, I can't do anything for him or her. I'm going to let God take care of him or her. And that is the joy of having an entity to believe in and have faith in, because there's just certain people you can't do anything with. There's no help for them. So we want to treat all people accordingly, whatever their races are, how they look, their handicaps, their mental issues. As I state, so long as you're respectful, you treat people with respect, hopefully you'll get that back. But naturally, the world doesn't work like that. We have some very evil people out here, people who don't mean you no good. They don't want nothing good for you because they don't want nothing. They ain't got nothing. And that's where these crimes come to fruition. Sick people walking around, mad at the world, vengeful, hateful, abused, battered, torn, broken down, spiritless, empty vessels, narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic, homicidal, suicidal too. And they're out here looking for a fresh body. And that's where these stories come into play. You don't want to be an Indigenous person without a voice. You don't want to be a white person without a voice. You don't want to be a Black person without a voice. Hispanic without a voice. You want somebody to look for you. Something happens to you. You want somebody to bang on the door because you ain't opening that damn door. Your car's been sitting in the garage, the driveway, too damn long. Your car is sitting at the job, but you ain't at your job. You want somebody to care about you. And some of us don't have people to care. Ain't nobody knocking on the door. Ain't nobody calling the damn phone. Ain't nobody texting to see if you all right. And this is where the predator gets his ultimate joy. I know ain't nobody coming and looking. That's why you're the perfect victim for me. I can assume your identity. I can lay in your house or apartment knowing the things about you. Ain't nobody coming or knocking. Ain't nobody coming or looking. And that goes to show the case out of Houston, Texas, of those children lying in that filth on the third floor with a dead body in the room and apartment with them. Perfect scenario. Nobody came a looking for those kids. So they sat in this fucking apartment with a dead brother and nobody cared. Nobody banged on the door. Nobody called the police. Nobody called DHS. Nobody went and grabbed that damn apartment manager by the collar and say, open this damn door. I'm looking for my cousin, whoever. They ain't been seen. We haven't heard from the children. We're worried about the children. You see, there's nothing wrong with falling off from people. You are entitled to live as you see fit. You're tired of answering your phone. You're tired of being bothered. You're tired of texting, emails. You are entitled to that as an adult. But the cruel thing is that somebody is possibly concerned about you, your kids. So when you don't respond, they feel some type of way. What did I do to you? What did I say to you for you to stop answering my calls? You won't open the door. And I get it. There's times you don't want to be bothered. But you see, in this case out of Houston, you need to go the extra mile and bang on the damn door. You could have saved a life. Everybody needs a voice at some point. Okay? And when you fall off by not caring to go look for the people or bang on the door, this is where foul play gets to have fair play. You see, stinking ass parents letting somebody beat their kids, abuse their kids. They're abusing their kids. Now the kids are held up in a home. Now we got all these other missing people out here. Nobody's rallying for them. God forbid they live with stinking ass people. They ain't going to the police to say, yeah, my daughter missing, my son missing. You see, you got people out here, they want their kids missing. So they don't give a damn that their child ran away, their child got kidnapped, their child went in the wrong company, whether they were under 18 or over 18. And the easiest people to get ducked off are people who don't have no family, those who don't have no friends, those who don't have no family. Nobody's inquiring about them. They're people of the street because nobody loves them. They don't feel love, so they don't feel nothing. They don't care. So they get in a company with other people with the same mindset or worse. Now they're held up somewhere, God forbid, kidnapped, human trafficked, whatever. Then they're dead. Nobody knows nothing because nobody cared in the beginning. And we can no longer send our children out in the world without anything to hold on to. That's the worst feeling in the world. is to be born and nobody cares about you. And then you turn 18 and you have to go out here and pretend to be a damn adult when you ain't been taught nothing. How can you be an adult when you ain't learned how to be a fucking kid? You can't. This has to stop. People acting unconcerned by other people. This is why people are easily missing, you see, because people are not concerned about other people. You have some people go missing, whether they are a child or an adult. They've got family members who are hitting that pavement, hitting the news stations, radio stations, social media. They are hounding us, civilians, to recognize their loved one as missing. And they don't rest. And they show that they love their child and family member. Sadly, there are many people who don't get this attention. They don't have people rallying for them. And this is the perfect victim for a predator, killer. If you see something, say something. You don't have to give your name. Just call anything you see suspicious that don't look right. And I understand you don't want to be a busy bee, nosy neighbor, but there comes a time when one must say something, because a lot of people could be alive today had somebody stepped up and made a phone call about something that did not look right. A person's behavior wasn't right, whether it was the victim or the suspect. You got to stop enabling people to do wrong, enabling them to hurt other people, to continue to hurt other people. I think it's time we step up and say to these people, you know what? I don't like your damn attitude. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you act. And I would prefer that you not contact me until you tighten your shit. Because I got my own problems and living to do. So until you can walk and talk to me like you got some sense, don't bother me. See, this is why the world is the way it is, because lots of us are afraid to say stuff to people because we're afraid of getting their feelings hurt. We don't want to fall out with people. We don't want to be arguing with them. So we don't say nothing. We mumble under our breaths. Man, that MF is crazy. Man, she crazy. He crazy. You can't say nothing to them. They're always mad. They're bitter. They want to argue all the time. So you just push it under the rug. But these people, hello, raising other children, raising their kids, and you don't say nothing because you don't want to be in nobody's business. And I get that. But there comes a time when you have to call people out on their shit and tell them, hey, I don't like the way you're talking to your kid. Hey, you don't need to talk to your kid like that. Hey, you don't need to talk to that woman like that. Hey, lady, you don't need to talk to that guy like that. Hey, you don't need to be hitting that lady. Hey, you don't need to be hitting that man. Hey, this all y'all do is fuss and fight. Why don't you two separate? Start saying something in a delicate way, of course, as to you not to end up becoming a victim, or remove yourself altogether. But the enabling of these sick people out here has got to stop. And sadly, we cannot tell people who to date, who to marry, who to slumber with, have flings with, hookups with. But there comes a point when I think the government needs to get involved with anybody who's had a child, been accused of abuse, proven of abuse and neglect. They need to take you and strap your ass to a table and snip you out raw. And then you can go out here and have all the sex you want without procreating. That's my take on that. And it may sound inhumane, but how is it inhumane to continuously have children and be abusing them, neglecting them, and allowing other people to do the same to them? It is not right. So I think our government should mandate you get snipped once you have been accused of rape, sodomy, child molestation, abuse, neglect, and murder. Snip them. Take out the ovaries and clip those boys' private parts and put an end to this madness. And if you really want to get ugly with it, if you've been accused of rape, ironclad evidence such as DNA and a rape charge, cut it all off and make them pee out of a bag. You want to go out here and sodomize people, women, children, rape people, then all your parts should be cut off as a man, and you have to urinate and empty your bladder through a bag. What better way to learn how to keep your hands and private parts to yourself? And if we were in China, you stole something, it cuts your damn hand off. You see, we can be barbaric if we wanted to. And I don't know if it would stop anything, because people keep constantly murdering each other, sodomizing each other, raping each other, and yet people still don't mind going to jail, still don't mind catching a charge. So that shows me they don't care. But maybe if we became barbaric in the punishment, somebody could say, well, besides me laying up in a prison for 99 years, they're also going to cut off my private parts and make me pee in a bag. They're also going to cut off my fingers and my hands if I go rape that lady, rape that kid. You see, maybe the government needs to become more barbaric in the sentencing phase. No more letting you walk around the jail and prison, talking junk, getting your 3 meals a day, money put on the books for commissary, access to a cell phone, TV, cable, Wi-Fi, library. How about we start cutting off your damn hands, your foot, your testicles, your penis, and show you how serious your crimes are. Hello, Jackie. Thanks for joining me. Yes. And thank you, Miss Brooks and Kevin, earlier for letting me speak on the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We are in desolate times. We're in sick times. And the problem with people now is that nobody cares anymore. Nobody has love in them. So how can somebody love me when he doesn't love himself? She doesn't love herself. You can't love me if, one, you was never taught what love is. And perhaps the person that brought you here, he or she didn't know what love is, still don't. So you can't teach people about love when you've never been loved. That's just common sense. And as Dr. Phil loves to say, you cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Truth. Facts. Big facts. You can't acknowledge. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. You don't think there's anything wrong with you. You don't think you've got any type of personal issues. Then you're going to continue doing frivolous and felonious behavior at the expense of somebody else. Hurt people hurt people. This is why we have so much violent crime in America and abroad. This is why we have so many people that are bitter inside, mad at the world, plotting things to do evil to other human beings. And some of you don't believe the devil is real. As I put on a comment page of an article today, the devil is real. The devil makes people do stupid shit every day. Whether you believe in Satan or not, he is real. And he has minions working for him willingly. He didn't even have to summon them. Maybe some are innately evil from the womb. I don't know. But we cannot allow people to keep harming other people. We have got to say something when we see children being abused and neglected. We have to talk to people who we think are being abused and neglected by other adults and, tread lightly and saying, you don't have to live like this. It's none of my business, but there's help out here for you. You don't have to allow someone to hurt you, batter you, your children. And then you step away and let he or she make the right decision if they can. And naturally, you can't make someone think like you and behave like you. But you can show that you care, but you let them know, I cannot involve myself in people who are going to be violent towards one another. And I can't sit idly by and watch you also be battered and abused. Because that's not how I live and ain't how I rock. I don't participate with folks that get down like that. I let that be known. So if in behind closed doors, I'm speaking to somebody that beats their wife or girlfriend, they now know that Angela don't like it. They also know they ain't going to talk to me about beating up their wife or girlfriend. I let them know. I don't rock like that. I don't condone that behavior. And there's times I talk junk on this channel when I'm mad and I'm angry because I'm human. But when it comes to these people abusing these kids, hell yeah, I talk crazy. Give you what you gave to that baby, that kid. Who are you to abuse a child, abuse an adult? You don't have the right. And one day you may get back what you gave that kid, that adult. If you see something, say something. Every life is valuable. Every life deserves attention. Whether you are white, black, Hispanic, Indigenous, foreign, everybody has a voice. Everyone deserves to be respected, so long as you're giving respect and you are respectful. But if you're out here doing frivolous and felonious things to people, you should know that trouble will eventually boomerang back and knock at your damn door. And you will possibly get back what you've been giving to others. So my advice to you is stay in your damn lane and get you some help. If you see that you have a mental problem, you are violent, you are abusive, you are neglectful, you don't have any empathy, you need to see your counselor and see what's wrong with you, because you can change. You can change if you want to change. And by the Almighty God, his son Jesus, who forever lives, you can call on him and ask him to show you favor to change your life. Because through Jesus, everything is possible. And that's how I feel. That the worst of man and woman went to the Lord humbly, and he showed him and her favor and changed their life. Whether you were a murderer, a sexual offender, bank robber, drug dealer, drug addict, alcoholic, thief, whoremonger, whatever your vice was, you can get help. And if you go to the Lord humbly, truthfully, he will work it out for you. Because the worst of man and woman has been redeemed, but they only got redemption because they wanted the help and they put in the work to change. They put in the work to change. Prayers for the 710 Indigenous people missing out of the state of Wyoming. Prayers for Mr. Cian Mclaughlin, who is currently missing from Grand Teton. Prayers for Mr. Lowry's family, who was deemed a suicide. Prayers for the Petito Schmidt family. And prayers for the 2 women who were bludgeoned to death out in Grand Teton. And prayers for anybody visiting any national park, campground. Please be aware of your surroundings. Be careful of the people you take up with. Be careful of going in people's cars and campers and homes, Ubering, lifting. You need to be very careful of the company you keep. And that is the same for the rest of us out here who are not in the national parks. Be careful of the people you ride with, get in their cars, Ubering, share lifts, all that type of thing, share riding, cab driving, inviting people over to your home, going to other people's homes. You have to be very careful of the people you surround yourself around, because you don't know people. And even people who you've known for years in friendships, relationships, school, work, they can turn on you on a whim. And you can do the same because we're all human. And a lot of us act out when we are angry. We fuss, we cuss, and then we use our hands. And using your hands is not the way to settle a disagreement or to make somebody listen, hear you, understand you. I want to thank all of you for joining me. I want you all to pray for our missing children and adults. Everybody has a voice. Prayers for the 2 women who were found in North Carolina deceased. If you go back to the beginning of this video, I bring you a source pertaining to the information. And prayers for the other Caucasian lady missing here out of Knoxville, Tennessee. She was in a car wreck in September. She has memory loss, 1 arm amputated. I do not know what has happened to her, but I will bring you the said information as I get it. So we will pray for her family. We will pray for her as well, that she is found alive. And we'll also pray for the other 2 women, as I stated, that were found deceased in the state of North Carolina. Very troublesome information coming out of the 1 woman found in the Little Tennessee River, and the other lady who was found deceased in North Carolina. Sexual predator was driving her car. She had been dating him. I have a lot of questions with that said information. And as I state, she had to have known that he was a sex offender because the probation officer came to her home to visit him. And he had not given his address, a new address. That is what he was charged with when he got pulled over driving the missing woman's car. Now dead woman. Lord have mercy. God help me. Pray for everybody. Pray for me. I pray for you. Thank you all. Hi, What Big Eyes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you all. What Big Eyes, Kevin, Miss Brooks. Thank you all so much. I enjoyed talking to you guys earlier today on the live. This is just, I'm overwhelmed with talking about these missing people and children and abused children. I'm just very overwhelmed, and I'm tired of talking about these cases. I don't want to keep talking about these people because it's just, it's depressing. Prayers for Summer Wells. Prayers for answers for Summer Wells. Pray that God will bring the truth out to where we can find Summer Wells, the Cal City brothers. Prayers for all the missing children. Prayers that they have a voice, that somebody will love them and treat them with respect. Our future children, that they don't end up a Summer Wells, a Camille McKinney, a Cal City brothers. And you as an adult, you don't end up missing and are dead, human trafficked, held hostage, abused, battered. Because you see, you can be living and be abused and used. And that is no way for a human to live, is to be mistreated by another human being. We're all valuable, whether we like each other or not. And I can't give you wrath. I don't like you. That's God's job. And that's what I think of with people that I don't care for. I say, let God worry about that. That's his child. They're not my child. Only God can work with that man or that woman. And I no longer will engage or worry about what he or she is doing that I don't like. I'm going to let God handle that. Because in the end, that is who is going to handle that. So always remember that. You ain't got to hate them, but you ain't got to join them either. Amen. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm getting ready to head out here in a minute for work. Thank you all so much for joining me. God bless all of you. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.